So hope it's just a coincidence, but I noticed there's fewer people here than last time, and hopefully it's not because of the midterm. The midterm was pretty, I mean, everybody did pretty good. Probably about what's expected, I think, pretty typical of this class. So don't feel bad about it. But I think overall, with all the other work we're going to be doing, you shouldn't worry too much about a kind of low grade. I think today our activity will be a little bit short. So we can always, like, afterwards, anybody that's interested in talking about the exam, we can kind of talk about it. And then today in Math 135, in case you didn't get the announcement I put a few days ago, in Math 135, we're not going to have a lab this week. I thought it'd be more beneficial maybe to anybody that's interested, go over any problems you want to go over from the midterm, just to talk about if you got anything wrong. And I don't know if you looked at the midterm, the grade. So on Canvas, it shows your grade, this percent out of 100 or whatever. But it also, in the comment, I try to do like a grade breakdown, whereas problem 1, you got this many points out of, they were all worth different amounts of points, 5 points out of 5 or 9 out of 9. So any ones where you got perfect, don't worry about those, you did it right. But that way you kind of know which ones you did wrong. And if there's only 1 or 2 points marked off, you were probably really close to the right answer, but some little thing was wrong or something like that, and then even on the multiple choice problems, I tried to give partial credit. Even if you got the wrong answer, if you picked the one that was it seemed right, but it wasn't quite right, you were on the right track, sort of. I gave you a little bit of points, but yeah, I did. The only thing I noticed was maybe about a quarter of the class did well on the maybe first half of the midterm, or a little bit more, but then towards the end with the z-scores and using the applet to find probability, not too well. I just wonder if maybe it's because so few people were behind in the modules and we didn't really get to that part, or just didn't practice it. I don't know, but we can talk about all that. I think, yeah, like I said, I think today this activity is not too long. It kind of has a lot. I don't know. We're going to be going to this website to do this applet thing, kind of like we did before. And then we'll go to, what's it called? Google Sheets to enter all our answers in and compare and yada, yada. So yeah, I'd say if you did okay, like 60 something percent on the midterm or higher, then I wouldn't worry too much about it. I think you'll be fine overall. But yeah, we can always talk about that more later. I'm sorry. But I sent an email, I think, and then a couple hours ago, and then also an announcement about today's activity. Don't worry about it if you didn't really see it yet. It's fine. No worries. I'll try to, maybe I'll link the document in this chat just in case you didn't get it, or whatever the case may be. Let's see. Where is it? Should be in a file folder. Where is it? Here we go. So we're in week 9. Can you believe that? There are 16 weeks in the semester, and that's the last one's finals week, and we're in week 9, so we're halfway there. Pretty good. Okay, so I've linked just the document we're going to be working on today in the chat here. But if you have already seen it, it's in. Oh yeah, like we talked about before, I never really know where to put these activities. That's a tough one, but I just figure I look at today's date and say, okay, where in the modules would they be if they were just on time? You notice these modules due October 23rd, so that's past, but then we get to October 25th, that's today. So it seems like if you're just barely on time, you're not ahead, you're not behind, this is probably what module you'd be in. But yeah, it's at the very top. We're going to do this one today, and then the one below on Thursday. And I think they won't be too bad. I think they shouldn't take too much time. So let's see, I will kind of just go ahead and open it. Okay, let's see. This one's, it's kind of interesting. I think we'll watch a video related to it first, because there was a news story about it. But this is what it looks like. It's a weird worksheet. It's just it kind of looks normal, but it's got these noses at the top, so you'll know that you got the right one. But let's go ahead maybe now. I think we got 25 people in the class at this point, so I think we can go and find that video. Let's see. Just to get, it's kind of an introduction that this was actually an actual news story, and then we're going to do a little bit of statistics and just kind of logic to see what we think, what's going on here. And yeah, okay, so I'll be quiet. Let me play.
Joy Milne first noted something odd about her husband, Cent, when he was 45. Shortly afterwards, he was diagnosed with Parkinson's. Now universities are testing if it's a coincidence or a newfound precaution. Here's Mike McCarthy from our British partner, Sky News.
When she was a teenager, Joy Milne started to realize that she had an acute sense of smell. But it was only when she noticed a change in her husband Les's odor that the incredible potential of her super sense became clear.
He was anaesthetist. He was in a close situation in theatres and he was working long hours. And I presumed, and the Parkinson's tiredness had kicked in then, but we didn't know that. And because he was so tired, I just thought, well, you're not showering enough. And I said so.
At first, Joy didn't know what the smell was until she recognized it in other people and said so at a meeting to discuss Parkinson's.
And I thought, this is it. This is the right moment. And I stood up and said, why are we not using the smell of Parkinson's? I can smell it in this room all around me.
Now at Manchester University, researchers supported by the charity Parkinson's UK are harnessing Joy's special skill. Once Joy's incredible ability had been recognised, she was given by the university a number of t-shirts. Now, half of them had been worn by Parkinson's sufferers, the other half by a control group. She got them all right, apart from one. That.
Oh. What happened?
Joy Milne
Oh,
first
I
noted
think that was
something.
okay. Let's see. Okay. So that's kind of interesting, right? It was a lady's husband. She didn't, unbeknownst to her, she didn't know that he had Parkinson's disease, but she noticed that he started smelling a little different. And that's kind of funny how she just nonchalantly said, well, he was working hard, so I thought he kind of stank, you know? No, that was kind of funny how she just said that. But yeah, apparently she said that there's a certain smell that she has a really good nose, apparently. And then today our job is kind of to see, okay, well, based on how many she got right, as far as she smelled, what was it, 12 shirts, half of them were from people that did have Parkinson's, half of them were from people that did not, and she got 11 of the 12 right. You know, that's kind of, to me, on the border between, I kind of believe that she might have this capability, and then I don't know, it seems kind of hard to believe, you know. So that's what we're going to kind of explore today. What are the chances that it's just that she's actually smelling something, and then also what are the chances of her getting 11 of those 12 right on accident, you know, where she's not really actually good at smelling this like she says she is. So just based on that video, let's see. So it's the beginning in this little box. It just kind of says, oh, this is what's going on. We kind of saw that in the video already, so it's nothing new. But the first question asks, okay, why would it be important to know that someone can smell Parkinson's? What do you think? I mean, and then maybe you might think that seems like too obvious, but any ideas? Like if she could smell Parkinson's, why would that be so important? Or why is that a good thing in this world, I guess? What do you think? Anybody have any ideas?
I think it would make helping identify it more easier.
Right. Yeah. Good thinking. You're right. Like early detection, I guess, or yeah, identifying it's easier rather than, I don't even know if they have a test. If they have a test currently that's not related to smell, maybe it catches it too late or something. So yeah, something like early detection, I guess. That's kind of good. Any other reasons, I guess? It's probably the main one that I can think of. Yeah. Anything else? Why would it be important? And maybe even if I don't know enough about it, but if there is no test right now for Parkinson's, especially the early stages, maybe this is good that there's something, maybe gives doctors a clue as to how they can do, you know, maybe not a smell test, but they can use the fact that she could smell it to think, well, maybe there's some kind of chemical that his body's giving off and they can test for that, you know. It might give researchers an idea of what new test, you know. I don't know.
Or possibly start observing them when they start detecting it, like with the progress.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. She can kind of smell it, and then they can observe kind of their progress and how they're doing and what stage, I guess, how far into it are they and stuff. There's probably a lot of right answers to this one. I think it would be good. So it's not just like this news story was here for fun. Oh, this is kind of interesting, but not really useful. Of course, it's useful. Yeah, we'd want to be able to detect someone having a disease early, and maybe the earlier you detect it, the quicker they can diagnose it and then fix it. And anyway, that would be good, right?
Perhaps could also go on to other diseases that maybe have a smell and are harder to test for than Parkinson.
You're right. Yeah. Even if Parkinson's maybe does already, it has a test and they don't need to worry about it. But you're right. Maybe that'll clue them in. I bet you probably, if as a scientist, you probably wouldn't even think about that. Like people that have a certain disease would smell different. That probably wouldn't even occur to you at all. You just didn't even think about that. But you're right. That might get them on the thought of, well, maybe not just Parkinson's, maybe other ones. I can use this idea. Yeah, good idea. It's, I don't know, like ideas for how to test for other diseases, like you said, that aren't, maybe we don't have a test for yet. We don't know how to test, or the tests aren't really reliable or something. Yeah, that's a good one. Being able to detect even other diseases based on smell. Maybe there you can't, but maybe you can. It's maybe worth checking out. And I'm sure at this point they've already checked that out, I bet. But for being able to, yeah, detect other diseases that might even be harder to diagnose and stuff. Yeah, these are all good answers, I think. Yeah, I think we got good ones. So then the second one says, okay, how many correct decisions would you expect Joy to get out of 12 if she couldn't really smell? Because I think they said specifically in that video that half of the people, that they sent her 12 t-shirts of people that wore these t-shirts, and half of them did have it. So 6 had it and 6 didn't. If she could not, let's imagine that she couldn't smell Parkinson's, that she was just guessing kind of, or she thought she could smell it, but she couldn't really. How many do you think she should get right just from random chance or just by guessing?
Six out of 12, since that's about 50. Since there's only 2 options, it's either yes Parkinson's or no Parkinson's, and they're even in half.
Yeah, I think that's a good answer. Yeah. And in the chat, let's see, someone said like one. Yeah, because I think in the video, they said that 6 of the shirts were from someone that did have Parkinson's and 6 were not, like half. Yeah, half. So it was 6 shirts, I would think, out of 12, only because that's what, if they didn't say that they just said, here's a bunch of t-shirts, some have Parkinson's, the people that wore them have it. I don't know if I would know the answer, but they said half of these 12 did have it. So I guess that they say 6. And then even if you said, well, even I'd say 5 or 7 is close to 6. So if she said 5 of the 12, if she got 5 of the 12 right, okay, that's pretty good. Or 7 of the 12 right, even that's pretty close to 6. So it's still about half she got right, just by chance, I would say. Yeah, I'll just say because they said explain by random chance, I guess. Chance, she'd get half of them right, I guess. I would expect, and half of 12 is 6, yeah. Or something about there. If she got 5 right out of 12 or 7 right out of 12, I'd say, well, that's pretty close to half. So it's probably just random chance. Yeah. Okay, then what do they say in number 3? Do we have some evidence that Joy can smell Parkinson's, and why? That one might be kind of an opinion thing. What do you think? Do you believe it based on? I don't know. I think it depends how you think, but she got 11 of the 12 right. So is that convincing enough, especially when you think about, I would expect her to get 6 out of 12 right if she was just choosing randomly, or if she really couldn't smell it and she thought she could. So I think she got 11 out of 12 right. Do you think that's convincing? It's far enough away from 6 out of 12, what we think?
I think it is kind of convincing enough, but during the little heads and tails thing you had us do, I got 9 tails in a row, so my standards are a little high.
Yeah.
I feel like having more larger tests, like maybe if she had like 24 and got 23 out of 24 right, it would be more convincing, but it's a small sample, so it's hard to say-ish.
Yeah, I think that's a good answer. You're right. It's a small sample, so if she was given 50 or 100 t-shirts and she got some large number right, I'd say, yeah, that's pretty good. But 11 out of 12, well, I guess it depends. Are you a cynic or are you a believer? Do I believe in miracles and stuff like that or not? But I'd say honestly, number 3 is probably an opinion, but I think 11 out of 12 right it's pretty good. Is a lot better than what I'd expect from, just random chance. So I'd say, yeah, I think so. Yes. Yeah, just because 11 out of 12 right is a lot better than what we'd expected, 6 out of 12. What we'd expect if she didn't know what she was doing. If she was just choosing randomly, I guess. But if you're kind of a cynic and you say, I don't know if I still believe it, 11 out of 12 is not that good. If you give a good argument on that regard for number 3, then that's okay. I'm not going to mark you wrong. It's more of an opinion. Are you harder to convince about stuff like this or not? Just the premise itself, it sounds off, you know. I never heard of someone being able to smell a disease, so it sounds wrong, you know. It's hard to stop believing that, but I think just the 11 out of 12 part sounds pretty convincing, I guess. Yeah, but if she was choosing randomly, I'd say she'd get 6 out of 12 or somewhere thereabouts. 11 out of 12 is pretty good. Okay, then what do they say for the next one? Let's see. How many correct decisions out of 12 would it take to convince you that Joy really could smell Parkinson's? It's probably dependent on everybody, you know. 11 out of 12 kind of convinces me. I honestly think if it was 10 out of 12, I'd have a hard, I'd say for me, I'd say 11 out of 12 is probably about where I'd say, I think she's probably got something more interesting than just randomly choosing. But everybody's different. If you think even 9 out of 12 would convince you, then you could put that. If you think 10 out of 12, but 11 out of 12 is probably pretty convincing. But like you said, you could say, oh, the sample size is small, so I still don't necessarily believe it. Yeah. What do you think? What do you think the lowest number out of 12 that would convince you that she could probably smell it? Like if she got 9 out of 12 right, with that, you'd say she probably can smell it, or no, or 10. What's the lowest number that you think you'd be convinced by out of 12? Or 12 out of 12? You have to get all of them right. Yeah. So it's up to you. Just kind of imagine how you would feel about it. Oh, someone in the chat said 9. Yeah, 9's probably a good number. 9 out of 12 is like, that's not really close to half. It's pretty much quite a bit higher than half. So yeah, and then 10 out of 12 is even better. And yeah, it kind of depends how you feel. Anything above 8, yeah, that's probably a good number. I'd say 7 out of 12, they could just got lucky and gotten 1 extra than half, you know. But 8's pretty good. Yeah, I like that Aubrey said, I have trust issues, so I'm gonna say 12 out of 12. I think you're right. There's too many people out there that claim all this stuff. Yeah, that you know, just turn out to be hacks. So at first I'd probably not believe it. So I'd say again for number 3 and 4, I think it's okay to say your opinion. And if you don't agree with 11 out of 12, you're okay with 8 out of 12 or 9 out of 12, then that's good. Or 12 out of 12, yeah, because you have trust issues. I like that.
It is also possible she guessed by the type of shirt, since putting on specific shirts might be harder for people with Parkinson's.
Oh, I didn't think of that. Oh, that's true. That's interesting. So maybe you have trust issues too, huh? I think I kind of do too. 11 out of 12, 12 out of 12, 10 out of 12, I'm kind of, I think, like I said, it's a premise.
I think everybody has some type of trust issue.
I think you're right. The older I get, the more trust issues I think I have, you know. That's probably not good. I got to talk to a psychologist about that, I think. Yeah. Okay. That's my homework. Okay, I'll talk to a psychologist. Anyway, yeah, that's just kind of interesting though. I mean, I guess if you've done this activity before, then you know the answer. So you probably, know whether she can smell it or not, or if she's onto something or if she's not. And now at this point, we're going to see if we were to randomly, let's say you were the one now given 12 t-shirts, half of them come from someone that actually does have Parkinson's, and the other half came from someone that didn't. And you just kind of randomly said, this one is a yes, this one's a no. And, and let's see, what are the chances that you get 11 out of 12? So this is where, let's see, I put the link in the chat. I have to activate this applet though. Let's see. I'm going to put the link in the chat. I don't know why when I link this website, it only shows me in general applets. It doesn't specify. So I put that link in the chat. If you click on it though, let's see what happens when you click on it. I think you'll just go, okay, StatsMedic is the website that has all these interesting things. Okay, and then under resources, there's applets. Hopefully it'll take you right there because it says something/applets. But we want to go, everybody, we're all going to go to this place and try this activity. Let's see, it'll be under activities, I think, right? Yeah, and that's the very first one here. It says, can you smell Parkinson's? So that'll be the one. If it's up to you if you want to do it, maybe you can do it on your phone while you're viewing Zoom on this, or you do everything on the same device or vice versa. But I'm going to click on that guy. And I think I have to activate something for you to be able to start. Let's see. Takes a second, I guess, but let's see. While I'm at it, I think I had the class code. It's like just this code that allows you to type answers in there. You're not from a different class, you're from this class. So I'll put that in the chat real quick here. Class code. I don't know why it's not loading for me. The class code is 5F. FBE22. 5FBE22. Yeah, okay. Why isn't this? Mine doesn't want to load. My thing having a hard time here? Guess I'll try to load it again. Okay, down there. And then applets. Oh, we're already there. And then can Joyce smell Parkinson's? Okay, click on it. Okay, I'm gonna enter an existing class code. Okay, okay. So you would go, not do this activity independently, not start a new class code as a teacher. You want to enter an existing class code. Why can't I do that?
I just went to start a new class code as a teacher and it just opened up.
Oh. Oh, I think, But I think then that would be,
Yeah,
Yeah.
because that code wasn't working for me either.
oh, I think I might have to do something. I don't know why it's not letting me. Shoot, come on. Oh, there it is. I'm gonna, no, okay. What the hell? I mean, what the heck? Oh. Maybe, you know what? Maybe because I let it sit there too long, it kind of timed out, and then now I have to start a brand new one. Okay, calm down. I'm gonna have
I
to give you.
mean, if the code worked, is that okay?
Oh,
If you
yeah,
had
it
to
did.
make a-
It worked.
I mean, it worked for me. I can't speak for everybody else.
Oh, it worked. Oh, geez. Okay, good. How come but is it letting you, if you go to that one and can you do, yes, push, add that. Can you?
I could see it, but it won't like let me click yes or no.
Oh, okay. Dang, I think because I lost that page, maybe I have to start it over. So I think the class code will work, but I don't know if you're able to click yes or no on the t-shirts to say, oh yeah, I think this one came from someone that does have Parkinson's or not. Man, so I'm sorry, I might have to start a new one. Damn it. And then give you the new class code. Okay, sorry. What is that? D394BC. Okay, now is it gonna let me open a new one? Wait for it. Okay. Now I'm going to enable data collection for 5 minutes, and I'm going to give you this new class code. Sorry, I think you'd have to get out of that one because I'd have to log into that old one and enable data collection, but I can't get into the old one. I don't know why. It's being a pain in the butt. I think I shouldn't do it so far ahead of time. I think I need to do it as we're doing our activities. So the new class code, sorry, you have to go back and do the enter existing class code, blah, blah, blah. It's the letter D394, the letter B, the letter C. It's in the chat, sorry. So try and go ahead and do that. I don't know if you could do it on your phone or not, but just click on yes or no for all these t-shirts. And this, of course, you can't see any difference between these. All these shirts look the same, but you're just guessing as if you're not able to smell Parkinson's. You're just guessing. And then it should tell you what's the chance that or how many did you get right out of 12? It could be less than 6. It could be more than 6. But just kind of keep track of how many you got right and how many you got wrong. And you'll be filling that in here. Number 4 on the second page. How many did you get right? Correct. Okay, this many. How many did you get wrong? Incorrect. And then when you're all done with that, I have the Google Sheets link. No rush, so take your time if you're still working on it. But I linked the Google Sheets where you'll just enter the number you got correct, and somewhere in the first column. And then we'll all put it somewhere in the first column. The first student that gets there, I'll put it in the first one, and then on and on and on. We'll just see about. Nice. So you can expect about 6, 7, 5, something around there, but you could have gotten 1 right instead of, or yeah, there's no wrong answer here. It's random. It's kind of interesting how random chance works. So we're just trying to see how many of us will do as good as Joy did, which you got 11 out of 12 right. So we'll see how many of us get 11 out of 12 right or 12 out of 12 right.
After we click the yes and no's, do we click on enter admit code to enable teachers' privileges?
I don't think you should. No, you don't have to. I think it's okay. Because oh yeah, I can see at the bottom the number here. This is looking good. Well, so maybe we don't even need to do might not even need to do this thing. Sorry, maybe we don't even need to do the Google Sheets. I was thinking we had to, but this applet actually gives us the dot plot right there. Bada bing, bada boom. That's pretty sweet. So if you don't, actually, you don't have to do this the Google Sheets thing if you don't want to. I thought it would be, I thought we had to do that, but that's pretty cool. They give us the dot plot. Let's see, so how many dots are the 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So I have 20 done so far, but there's 28 of us. I guess I'm one of them. So there's 7 people that haven't done it yet. Maybe we'll wait a little while. But I know some people are maybe on their way home from work and they're not able, they're just listening and they're not able to do the activities because they have their phone on their lap. I wouldn't want you to be doing this while you're driving. Okay, don't worry about that. But I'll give it maybe a few more minutes, and maybe until 4 o'clock, we'll let people see if they weren't going to do this. But you can go ahead if you're bored and you're already done. You can look at the next things that we're going to do on the activity if you want. That's funny. In the chat, yeah, Francisco said, when you flip the coin, never in my life have I had so many tails happen. It's so weird, right? But you think, oh, random chance, I'm going to get half of the time it's going to be tails, half the time it's going to be heads. That's just the way it's going to be. But sometimes it's weird how you get a bunch of tails in a row or a bunch of heads in a row, and just like, what the heck? Is this really, someone messed with this coin? Is this a double-sided coin or what? It's weird. And probability is weird too. Even if let's say you get 10 tails in a row, for example, you think, oh, the next one's got to be heads because I got 10 in a row in tails. But the probability is always the same. It's still only 1 out of 2 to get heads or tails. It doesn't matter. Like one flip of a coin doesn't rely on the last one. The last one being a certain thing doesn't affect the next one. So it's almost like probability goes against common sense a lot of times. It's so weird. Yeah, interesting. Flipping a coin is kind of fun, huh? Pretty soon coins will be gone and like your kids and grandkids will be like, what's a coin? And you'll say, all right, listen here, Sonny, sit on my lap. I'll tell you about coins, because they won't have any, there'll be no physical money pretty soon. It's all credit cards and debit cards. Anyway, how many we got now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. All right, I think that might be about as good as it's going to get, huh? 22 people. So I think you can still enter it. I'm not going to close it or whatever, but just make sure on number 4 on the second page of this activity, write down, the number that you got correct. And then of course, the number you got incorrect would be 12 minus the number you got correct. And then it wants you to, what is that? Number 5, count up the number of correct decisions for your individual experiment for you. And what the heck? Why is this thing? Oh man. Oh geez, what the heck? What are we doing? Okay, place a dot for your total number of correct decisions. So you want you on this little x-axis here to place your dot, a dot for you, like in a certain color. What does it say? And yeah, whatever color you want. If you happen to have different pens or highlighters or whatever, up above 0, 1, 2, however many you got right when you did it, and then try to copy the dot plot in a different color, just so you can see your dot compared to everybody else's. So try, if you can, just kind of count the number of dots that are on this page that I'm showing on my screen. There's 3 above the number 2, 3 above the number 3, 2 above the number 4, 5 of them above the number 5. What a coincidence. And 7 above the number 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah. 7 above the number 6, 3 above the number 7, and 1 above the number 8. Can I remember all that? I'm going to try. 3, 3, 2, 5. Okay. Let me see if I can remember that. I want that. I'm going to go. Let's see. More. I'm using, these are more like rectangles, but whatever. 3 above 2, 3 above 3, right? And then 2 above 4, I think. And then 5 above 5. I know these aren't dots, but you know what I'm trying to do here. 7 above, 5 above 5, 7 above 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then how many were above 7 and 8? 3 and 1. Okay. 3 above 7 and 1 above 8. And that's it. Oh, dang it. Those are supposed to be separated. But that's pretty much the dot plot there. Imagining those rectangles or dots instead of rectangles or whatever you call those shapes. I don't know. So notice now when you see that dot plot, there was 22 of us or something that did this. Well, I didn't. Yeah. Does it convince you more that Joy probably can smell Parkinson's? You think you're more convinced now or not really? Let's see. Yeah, I think so. Me too. I think the first time I saw this activity on the first page, I was like, nah, there's no way someone can smell Parkinson's. That's crazy. Get out of here. That's what the heck. But then after I did this dot plot, yeah, it was similar to this, that the people that did really good got 8 out of 12 right. And no one did 9 out of 12, no one got 10 out of 12, no one got 11 out of 12. So really, when you compare all of us doing this randomly, if you know, we can't smell it, so we don't know. We're not even close to 11 out of 12 like she got. And then, oh, and let's see in the chat, Francisco asked, can we just type the number above the number? Yeah, that's true. If you want to, instead of actually, I don't know, putting dots above all the numbers on this x-axis or this dot plot, you can just write the number. And then I think, yeah, now that you said that, I think I'll understand. If you put the number 3 above 2, okay, I think so what he means is he's just going to go, where are we? Like 3 above the number 2, 3 above the number 3, and there's 2 of them above the number 4. You know what I mean? And then there's 5 above the number 5, 7 here, 3 here, 1 here. Yeah, if you do that now, I think at first I'd say, what were they doing? I don't know what that means. But yeah, now that makes sense. Instead of drawing these dots, then as long as you know what it means, then okay, that sounds good. Okay, and then number 6 asks someone, what does each dot represent? I guess each dot is the number of correct guesses out of 12 for these shirts, right? Let's see, oh, something like that. We probably, I'm sure most of you, I think, speak much more eloquently than I do. So the number, or what do you think? What's a better way to phrase that? The number of correct, and I'm even going to specify guesses because we were all guessing. We don't know. Out of 12. Yeah, okay, then number 7 says, based on the class simulation, what proportion of the simulations resulted in 11 or more correct identifications? So what proportion? I think by proportion, they mean let's make it a fraction. So how many of us got 11 or more correct out of the total number of people? That's what they mean by, yeah, proportion. The number of people who got 11 or more correct, which we already know now. We saw the dot plot who got 11, I guess, or 12 correct. If you got all of them correct, that's good too. Correct out of, and then divided by, yeah, the total number of people that kind of participated in this thing. What the heck, why did I lose it? Out of number of people who did the applet or activity. How many did we say? There were 22 or 23? I don't remember. 20, let's just say 22 just to be simple. But there were 0 people that got all the problems, or all of them, even all of them right, or 11 of them right. So it's 0 out of 22 or 23 people. That's what they want for that number 5. Was that number 5? No, it's number 7. Sorry, what the heck? I'm off. The proportion of people. I think a lot of times there might be one person that got it right, you know, out of the total number. We got none. I think if we had a bigger class, maybe if it was 30 people, 40 people, 50 people, maybe 1 or 2 might be lucky enough to get that, but we don't have that many. So I think it kind of makes sense. Yeah, I feel like I'm more convinced now. Let's see, then what does it say? Based on these results, do we have convincing evidence that Joy can smell Parkinson's? Explain. What do you think? You kind of already said it, huh? What do you think? Do you think now you're more convinced? I think we already kind of said, huh? Yeah, I'd say based on the results, do we have convincing? Yes. Because, well, based on what we did, our applet and the dot plot and everything, it seems like the chances aren't very good of getting 11 right. Yeah, yeah, Monica said yes, I think so. Yeah, something like that, where the chances aren't great of getting 11 out of 12 right, or 12 out of 12 right, based on what we did. We tried to, but none of us could do it, even though there's not that many of us. Because, yeah, something like the chances of getting 11 out of 12 or 12 out of 12 correct is not very good. Isn't good. Yeah, does that make sense? Something like that. Then I could just point to the fraction from the last problem we did. There were 0 people that got as good as Joy or better than Joy. No one did as good as this lady that says she can smell Parkinson's. And I think actually there's more to that video. I wish I wouldn't have lost it. Yeah, because that was, I think, the beginning. We didn't want to give it away, the actual answer, but we didn't get to smell them. Yeah, that's true. You're right. We didn't get to smell them. I guess it's like, what if we don't really believe that she can smell them? What if I'm thinking she can't smell them? She's full of it, you know? She just guessed. But then now it's like, well, if she actually randomly guessed, her getting 11 out of 12 right, that's not very likely, you know? So maybe she actually can smell it. Yeah, that's a good way to say it. She couldn't, there's no way that we could get the same results she got. Yeah, let's see. I think this is the longer version, so I'll try to get this one. Maybe fast forward. We saw a certain part of it. We didn't want to, yeah, like I said, we didn't want to show the whole thing because it says at the end, oh yeah, she can smell Parkinson's actually, and blah, blah, blah. Oh, here we go. Commercial, of course, or advertisement. Yeah. Oh, geez. Oh, geez. All right, yeah, we get it, we get it.
Flowers, fumes, coffee.
Kind of already saw a lot of this, I think, right?
Les was diagnosed with Parkinson's.
Oh, whether she could smell it or not, we wanted to kind of see it for ourselves.
Professor Perdita Barron
Okay.
was skeptical. So
Yeah,
she
yeah.
and a team of researchers tested Joy, not with high-tech machines, but T-shirts.
Well, we got some people with Parkinson's, 6 people, and 6 people who didn't have Parkinson's, and we bought them identical T-shirts, and they wore them overnight.
They gave the shirts to Joy, and she sniffed out all of the Parkinson's patients, plus one T-shirt in the control group. 9 months later, that person was told he had Parkinson's.
That was really transformative. Now, some other person had it before they were clinically diagnosed.
Once symptoms like tremors start, the damage to the brain is already irreversible. Joy could be the key to catching it early.
So what does Parkinson's smell like?
It's a very musky, thick, greasy odor. It's not pleasant.
But a lot of scents make her smile. She tried to teach me how to really stop and smell the flowers.
I can definitely smell the floral on the blossoms.
Never just smell once, because smells are not one smell.
So now you're smelling
The chlorophyll, the basic molecules.
molecule.
Yes,
She smells molecules from people too.
that's the cardboard smell.
With Joy's help, researchers pinpointed the Parkinson smell to sebum, the oily substance in the skin, and identified molecules specific to the disease. The result, a groundbreaking new test.
We can tell within about half an hour from a patient sample, just a swab, whether someone has Parkinson's or not.
That test is still in early trials, but if it works, it could save countless families from the pain Joy and Les went through. He died 4 years ago.
What do you think he
Oh,
would think about what's happening
I keep
now?
on saying to people who ask me that, it's the tearjerker. No, he would be just over the moon.
An extraordinary ability that one day might lead to a cure.
That's pretty amazing. Let's see, how do I get out of that? Okay. So what do you think about that? That's pretty amazing. I kind of didn't believe it at first, but let's see. Oh, yeah, that's true. You're right. That like dogs can smell certain things, right? I feel like there was a study where certain dogs can smell cancers or something, certain cancers. So maybe there is something about sense of smell. You know, we just assume all dogs have better sense of smell, but maybe we do too. I don't know. Interesting. Yeah. Some people, I don't think I could smell it. I don't have a great sense of smell, but yeah. So do you have any questions about that activity? Do you feel like it's kind of interesting? It kind of makes sense? Or do you have is anything you're not sure about or weren't clear on?
Like you were talking about, I think it just depends on the person because I've always had a strong taste buds. I don't know if anybody else has taken the science classes there at MJC, but once long ago, back like in the 2000s, I had a science class and he gave us strips to taste. And every single strip was supposed to taste like something, you know? So he'd give it around and I was the only one that could taste like that. It didn't taste like it. It tasted like something, but I just couldn't guess what it was. But others were just like, I can't taste anything. Like everybody couldn't taste it. But every ones that came around, like some of them I could tell you what they were. And other ones, and it was in a science class at MJC. And they were little strips of paper.
Oh, did the teacher know what they smelled like or tasted like?
Yeah, because he
Oh.
had the thing. Yeah, but I would tell him like which ones did and didn't. And I was the only one in class that
Oh.
actually, and I've always been told that I have strong taste buds too, but same with hearing. When I had my baby, I could hear him from like miles away. They said it was like a sense of being a mom, but
Oh,
I have
yeah.
strong hearing where I have to actually wear earplugs sometimes.
Oh, wow. It's like a curse and what's a
Yeah.
good, no, it's a good thing and a bad thing at the same time.
Yeah,
Good in some ways.
Yeah, but they're like, how could you hear? Like, you know, I was like, he's up, you know, I was like, gotta go.
Yeah, mommies know, I think. Mommies know.
So, I think it just depends on the person. I'm not saying it's a superpower, but I think it's just like your taste buds.
Yep, I think you're right. I think you're right. Yeah. Well, honestly, I think we got through this activity faster than I thought we would. I thought we wouldn't have that much time left at the end, but we do. So do you feel, do you feel like you want to log out, take a break, and then log back in for Math 135 and go over the midterm problems, or do you want to just do it in this class? How do you guys feel?
Well, I won't log back in because I'll be taking it later. So
Right. So maybe I should, yeah, that's true. I think if you maybe haven't taken it, good call. So maybe we'll wait. Maybe I'll save it for any other questions, and then in Math 135, we'll go over any midterm problems. We don't have to go over all of them. I think I'll just kind of say, are there any that that's a good point. So maybe for now, between now and then Math 135 at 5:40, before you log in, maybe look at your midterm on Canvas and see in the comment, it should say on problem 1, you got this many right out of this much, and just kind of see which ones you got wrong. And if you don't know why, write them down, and then we can just kind of say that in Math 135, say, hey, I want to go over number 5 because I got it wrong and I don't know why. Yeah, so maybe that'll be our kind of homework for the next hour and a half. Just figure out what questions you want to go over and stuff, and because we only have 50 minutes in that class. It's not that long. I don't think we can necessarily go over all of them. Maybe not, but prioritize, I guess. Does that sound good?